Good afternoon. Whilst perusing the YouTube a few days ago, I discovered this game, Conquest of the Pacific by Conquest Gaming, and it's published in 2002. I can only find 2 videos, and they're both the same person, a chap called Jonathan Townsend, on YouTube, nothing else. I had a quick look at Board Game Geek, and there's a little bit on there, but not a lot. This game is supposedly a supplement or an alternative way of playing, and it's described as an addition to Axis and Allies, which is obviously a famous game. It's been around 20-30 years or more. But it comes in a box. It comes with a 24-page rulebook, just black and white, and a map, and that's it. It just tell you on it that it comes with no miniatures, no markers, etc., no dice. You're expected to have one of the Axis and Allies core sets to use the models, dice, etc. from there. So that's good news and bad news, because the good news is I have Axis and Allies Anniversary Edition, which covers the whole globe, right from the eastern seaboard of the US, across the Atlantic, Europe, Africa, Russia, right through to the Pacific. And I've got all the models and the dice and everything else, which is great. The bad news is that's at the summer place, and of course with this current lockdown, can't get there, not even allowed to visit, the place is shut down, and it's likely to be for quite some time. In fact, we may not even get there at all this summer, the way things are going. We'll have to wait and see. But I went ahead and got this anyway, because I saw the playthrough of it and it looks interesting. So if I move this box, the map is, I don't know if I can zoom out anymore. It's not a huge map, I think it's what it tells me on the box. So it's 22 inches top to bottom, 34 inches side to side. Now, it covers the Pacific War, but you'll notice that the Chinese, Indochina, Malaya are missing. We start off, if I just go across a bit, we start off with Borneo there, and we've got part of Oz, Northern Australia. What you'll also notice is that the islands are huge, and that's because you're going to place figures on them. It's abstract, obviously. The islands were just tiny little dots in the ocean, but for this game, they're being made larger for that very purpose, so you can place infantry, aircraft, air bases, and that type of thing on them. And we stretch right across to the United States, to San Diego over here. We've got the Samoa Islands down here, the New Hebrides. We've got the famous Guadalcanal with the slot. We'll move across to New Britain and New Ireland. We've got New Guinea, Borneo, we've got Peleliu, they've got Philippines, Okinawa, Iwo Jima up there, Wake, Midway, the Aleutians. Right up at the top we've got the Kuril Islands, and of course we've got the Gilberts over here, did I say that? The Gilberts, the Marshalls, and the Hawaiian Islands, all way over scale, but it's supposed to be for this game. You use Axis and Allies, well, you don't have to use Axis and Allies miniatures, but you can use any miniatures you have, or cardboard pieces if you want, I suppose. But as I said, I have that problem of the game's not here. So knowing that, and knowing there was no likelihood of getting my hands on it anytime soon, I took precautions, and at the same time as I ordered this, I ordered this bad boy. Axis and Allies Pacific 1942nd edition. Now, this is really, you can play it on its own like this, Pacific. The map's a lot bigger obviously than this, because the island's only small. And this is the standard Axis and Allies rules. The rules for this board game are slightly different. Similar, but different. So of course I'm going to have all the pieces I need in here. And eventually, when I do marry this up with the anniversary edition, I'll have a shed load of miniatures. Now this is just part of a global edition. You can also get Europe 1942nd edition, which you go along with this, it goes back. But I didn't need that for this. I was concentrating on this game. I've already got anniversary, so I've got a shed load of Brits and Russians and Germans. I don't need them for this. But I have got that now, so I can use the pieces from here. And the good thing is the same colour, the same sculpts as the anniversary edition, so they'll marry up perfectly, because I've seen some Axis and Allies sets where the Japanese ships are red, or some of the ships are different colours, which is fine, but just for continuity you want them all the same. So I've got that, and so that'll sort me out for miniatures, etc. So all that way. The idea of this game is, you can see how many sea zones there are. There's a hell of a lot more than there is on, for instance, that box I've just shown you. It's a bigger map, but sea zones cover huge areas. You can hop across the Pacific in a couple of turns. Not so on here. You can only move 2 sea zones per turn, and infantry on land can only move one space. Of course, you've got transports to supply your troops. You can build air bases, forward air bases, shipyards, not shipyards, dockyards. You can only build ships, the United States can only build ships in the San Diego region of the USA, and the Japanese can only build in the Tokyo region of Japan. But you can build in dockyards, you can build in any place you own where you've got a dockyard. You can build one transport, and units can be placed on any area that you own. It's assuming that these, for here, they don't have to travel from the United States. For instance, in Australia, they can appear here. Because this is only part of Australia, it's assuming that there's reinforcements moving up on the mainland of Australia itself. So you've got that. But everything else has to be transported. So this game gives you the option, not the option, it gives you now the possibility of fighting just the naval war and all the island hopping that went on. So you've got to slowly get yourself across, in case of the Americans, retake, to get yourself closer and closer to take back the territory and defeat the Japanese. Whereas in the real war, the Japanese have got to shoot across to capture as much as they can, as quickly as they can. I mean, they had 6 months, and I think it was Yamamoto said that he's woken a sleeping giant, and the giant's going to be a bit pissed off, and sure it was. The Japanese start with a lot of forces, the Americans not so many, as it was really. But the Japanese only have a small income until they capture more and more territory, where the Americans have, I think, 2.5 times their income, so they can start really building up to come back across and hammer the Japanese. For the Australia and New Guinea, I'll actually use Anzac troops, because you've got a box of Anzac troops in the Axis and Allies. So although this is supposed to be just the US versus Japan, because I've got Anzac troops, I might as well use them in Australia and New Guinea. They fought there, so I might as well use them. But the budget for them will come out of the American budget. So it should be a good game. It's something I wanted to do. It's not too complex. The rules are pretty simple. It's just a little bit of a step up from Axis and Allies. Not much, a little bit, not much. And it gives me an opportunity to use miniatures rather than cardboard chits. Nothing wrong with cardboard chits. I mean, there's some fantastic Pacific War games out there with cardboard canters and chits. Lovely, if you like that sort of thing. But I'd sooner have a simpler game with miniatures. That's just me. Daft like me. So I can see I can see what I'm looking at straight away without trying to read tiny little counters, especially with my eyesight. So anyway, I thought I'd show you what I'm doing. As I said, they arrived today, so I'm going to sit down and read the rules properly, and then probably set up a game or two and have a few games on my own. I've not been too well lately. I've been suffering really badly with hay fever. Just lost the mojo for everything at the moment. I just couldn't do anything, couldn't concentrate, just sneezing and headaches and runny nose, and never had it so bad as this. But it seems to be easing now. I say touch wood, it seems to be going away, and I hope it is. Although the pollen count for the next few days is going up again, so we'll have to see. Anyway, I'm babbling on, you don't interested in what I'm doing. And I will come back at some point in the future, I don't know when, and probably show you the game set up and maybe go through a turn or two once I know how to play it myself. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.